Hello. It's another month behind on making this video. Been busy with, I don't know, having my head in the clouds, I suppose. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so I didn't actually beat any games in April. Oops. Because the last game I played, I'd finished at the end of March. Shadows of Adam. And then in April, I started Tales of Grace's F Remastered. And I have been working on it. If you follow my blog, you know I've been working on it. I've put like 34, 35 hours into it or something like that. Not really looking at my thing that tracks the how long I've been playing the game. Um, I mean, part of it is I am following like a guide, sort of. I'm mainly making sure that I get all of the like titles that have costumes attached to them because I want to see those. They look either cute or very hilarious. In the case of the captain. At least that's what Asbel keeps calling him, so my brain can't remember his actual name. That's not his name. It's Malik. His costumes are downright hilarious. I laughed so hard. So it's taken me a while to get through the game because of that. I have tried to like implement things to make it go a little bit faster. Since it is the remastered version, I can do fast running, so I've started doing that while playing the game. I'm not the best with the combat in the Tales games. I figured this out after trying and just not really getting the correct grasp on it. Like, I was doing good in battle, don't get me wrong, I wasn't getting killed or anything. But I realized that I'm not as skilled as the AI is, apparently. So I just went ahead and switched it to auto, and the AI just performs these chains of the attacks, and I'm like, so I suck, that's cool. That's fine by me, I don't care. I just let the AI do it. That's fine. What else? Moving on. Then, of course, there was a bit of a delay. I didn't talk about it in the blog because I didn't want to rant rave about it, and I'm going to try to keep myself from griping too much. But the Magic Carta game. So, the first time I came across it, I did the easy and normal solo things to get titles that give you costumes or whatever. And they weren't too bad. I mean, I had to look up a wiki that has the picture of the card next to the quotes because I don't know the characters from the other Tales of games. Only ones I've played enough to be familiar with who the character is are Tales of Legendia on the PlayStation 2. I played a decent amount of that game, which I only know because of the fact that every character there was a card for that game, I was familiar with. I was like, I played further in that game than I thought I did. Cool. And that was only because, like, there was one summer I seriously just... that was the game I played for, like, a week because I was waiting to get a PlayStation 3, and my dad was working, and he just could not get a day off of work, and I was like, well, I'll just sit here and play this game. I didn't actually beat the game. I was more interested in the PlayStation 3. Whatever. I played a decent portion of that game, and now I'm like, man, I wish I'd actually beaten it so I could have marked it as done. As it is a decent game. I think the battle system was my problem. That's like the only drawback for me with the series. I'm not crazy about the battle system. I love the storyline. I love the skits that you can come across while you're traveling around. Certain like events trigger skits. Certain discoveries. Well, I think all the discoveries actually trigger skits. And like sometimes there's scenes that are optional that you can come across by going to certain areas at certain times. Sometimes the game tells you with a little time clock and you gotta like run after the hourglass. And it's like, oh no, hurry up. Other times it's just kind of random, it feels like. It's not, I don't think it's intentionally random, but it's random. I did figure out, I'm going to say like a decent portion of them. But I end up using the guide for most of them because I'm like, hey, why would I go there after? Okay, sure, why not? And it's worth it generally for me because a lot of the scenes are either really funny or if they're not busy being hilarious, they're adding to like the characters, which helps like make me interested, I guess, in what's going on with each of the characters. It pulls me more into the story instead of me just being like, oh, okay, this person likes this person, I guess. But with an optional scene, you find out about like a secret letter and you get to see how somebody actually perceives that particular character, and it gives you like more of a like I don't know how to word it, like it brings like more to the relationship between the characters. And I'm like, you know, it actually makes me more concerned about how these characters feel, and it makes more sense as to why they feel this way, why this is a dilemma, why this is so important to them, as opposed to just, well, because you're supposed to. Because that's not a good reason for me, and I just really don't care for those kind of reasons. Because I'm supposed to, I don't care. All right, yeah, the problem with Magic Carta, anyways, was the hard mode. So, around the midpoint of the game, before starting to head towards Farandel? Is it Farandel? Yeah. I think it's pronounced Farandel, I forget. Before I started that direction, having gotten Hubert, who was not the same level as the party, I hate when they do that. I was like, well, I need to level him up. And I was like, well, is there anything worth my time doing to level him up? And I'm like, oh, there's some side quests and stuff that I can play catch up with. And I was like, all right, I can just go ahead and do this section of side quests in the guide that have skits attached to them at this time period. There's like specific ones. And I was like, all right, well, if the guide feels you should do side quests at this time, why not? And I was like, yeah, I can use the levels on our new party member anyways. So I began the process of doing that. And it was in this section of side quests that I found out there is a reward for hard mode. And I was like, but why would you do this to me? You didn't mention it before. And now you're going to mention it? I mean, I don't know why there was like, I don't know if maybe you needed to wait until that point to be able to get that item. Or if maybe they just were like, you know, you ain't going to want to do this. So we're just going to wait and do this later. Yeah. So there is 3 things you get. 2 of them are titles, and 1 of them is an item. Now, 1 of the titles does not really, I feel like it's kind of a lame reward because it's just a regular title. Now, the other title is costume, so that's good. But my nose is itching me. Alright. So, I'm excited for that one. The other title, I was just kind of like, well, I got a title that basically says I did the Magic Carta. But I guess the reason, the game's reason anyway, it seems to be, is because you can get the regular title and item just for beating hard mode. The other title that has the costume attached to it for Cheria requires you to beat hard mode with the AI not getting a single card. And this AI has some kind of magical reflexes. Because they know exactly where these cards are. I'm looking at the screen like, I didn't There's 3 people with red hair. How am I supposed to find the right redhead in that split second that you just zoomed across the screen? And sometimes the AI just is like magically, like right on it. And it's like, oh, I don't remember how many retries it took. Because I just didn't keep track of it. I was like, I'm just going to keep doing it until the AI quits cheating. And I just happened to somehow pull the win out. So I did manage to do it. I have the titles. I got to see the costume. It's actually kind of cute. But I mean, all the outfits on Cheeria are kind of cute, honestly. She's kind of an adorable character. So I was like, all right. I don't know if it was worth that effort. Because it took me a little over half hour to get it. And it was kind of frustrating. I'm not sure it was worth the effort, but at the same time, I'm glad I did it. Sorry, my mouth's getting dry. So I was like, alright, well, I did it, I got it, whatever. The rest of the stuff for the game is pretty good. I mean, I enjoy the storyline, I enjoy the music, the animations, all of that. I'm not crazy about the combat is my main issue. But, I mean, if you're like me and you're fine with just putting it on auto battle, or if you can just overlook that, then it's definitely a very good game. My nose is driving me crazy. I don't know how to describe the storyline without, like, spoiling it, but, like, it's really about Asbel, who has a brother who's younger than him. He cares about his brother. He has a childhood friend that it's clear that they like each other, even though they're complete idiots about it so far in the game, and they might remain idiots about it. I don't know. I kind of hope that they figure it out. And pretty early on in the game, you come across this girl with purple hair named Sophie. Well, she don't have a name. They name her Sophie. And she has no memory. We don't know why she doesn't have a memory. We don't really know anything about her, other than she was in a meadow on this hill that they were told to not go to. Of course, they're kids. They're going to go there. And you're like, well, I really don't know why they're not allowed to go there. There's not really any... Early on, there's no issues or anything. You're just like, I don't care, whatever. At some point, it becomes clear that there's more to it than that. It seems that this location of this hill, it's kind of like in the middle between 2 territories. And your character's father is the lord of one territory. And I guess these territories are always just kind of fighting with each other. And you're like, well, that kind of sucks. And then you get to meet another character named Richard, who is a prince. And you're like, oh, okay, we get kind of more of a perspective on this. There's war going on all the time between the different territories or countries or whatever. And Richard kind of says he wishes that there was a way, everybody could just be peaceful and get along. And you're like, yeah, that would be nice. They're all kids, and it's like, well, it's kind of wishful thinking. It probably won't happen. And then it fast forwards. It's like, this is the end of their childhood. Boom. Big event. I don't want to talk about what happens. Just, it's a huge event, and you're like, what did I just watch? And it's like, great, now they're adults. I'm like, you skipped so much. What? You skipped 7 years. I don't... And then they have to play, like, brief catch-up. This is Asbel now. This is who he is. You're like, well, he still has the same thought process, which it's like, he's kind of a little naive, but he's only, like, 18, so you let it pass. You're like, yeah, I mean, 18-year-olds are still kind of, they're still a little naive, whatever. And then you start to find the other characters and catch up with them, and they're not as naive, and you get more of what's going on. There's still wars going on, and Asbel's hometown's being dragged into it. And it's like, well, it seems like this has been, like, a constant problem, and there's, like, something that happens that makes Asbel end up going back home, when he had been avoiding it, and you're like, what is going on with this? Stuff seems to happen fast, but it's also, it keeps pulling you in because you're like, I gotta see how is he gonna deal with this new situation that's kind of thrust upon him when he had an original plan and that didn't happen. So he went to another plan and then that didn't work. And now he's just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How do I press forward? Do I continue going after this? What about this? My ideals are this. How do I proceed? And he ends up just kind of unsure of himself, but he continues to try to make decisions that he thinks are right. And it's that you're playing through. And it's like, I feel that. That's like very relatable. Like trying to figure out, what do I do if this doesn't work? And when something does not work the way you want it to, where do you go from there? Not to mention there's aspects of loss in the game. There is death, there's because of the war and everything. And you're like, that's so relatable. Like once you have something like that happen, how do you move on? And I mean, multiple games have touched on that. I like how this one touches on it. He doesn't have the time that he wants to take to mourn because there's other things that are important. So he has to process his grief and proceed forward because other people depend on him. And he doesn't want to let them down. And it's like, that's so relatable and so realistic because just because something terrible happens doesn't mean you actually have the time to process that. You generally don't, because as an adult you're expected to do certain things. There's certain expectations. So I was like, all right, I am loving the fact that he's got to figure this out and he really doesn't have anything to work with. And then the game kind of, alters off a little bit. It starts to have other things, like somebody that he was best friends with is now potentially his enemy. How does he deal with that? The fact that they have such differing opinions, and he wants to talk about it, but the other person isn't talking to him about it. So he's conflicted. What do I do? Do I continue to try to get his side? Do I stop him because I think what he's doing is wrong? And it's really cool how they do all of that, because he also talks to the other characters and stuff. He discusses it with them. And while they don't have answers, they're there to listen. They're there to support him. And I'm like, I love this. This game, it's emotional. It's very emotional. And it's very engaging with the story because of that. And I'm like, I've got to keep playing. I got to see what happens next. And it keeps pulling me forward, even whenever I get stuck for a half hour trying to get some kind of title because it might be helpful to get the item or whatever. And it's kind of why I'm enjoying this game so much, that I don't mind that it's taking so long, and I don't mind some of the aspects that don't really mesh well with how I like to play games. So that's so far what I'm thinking about Tales of Graces F remastered, technically. I've never played the original. I think I have it on PlayStation 3 digitally, but that's neither here nor there. I never played that one. I'm playing this one, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad that I pre-ordered it. I'm glad I started playing the game, and I might actually save up and get the DLC to get the extra. There's extra episodic type content thing. There's like an epilogue, I guess. That's digital only. So I was like, I might save up and buy that particular upgrade DLC thing. I think it also has like the soundtrack and the art book or something. But I was like, I'm loving the story so much that I might actually get that. because I want to see more of these characters. I want to see these interactions. I'm really enjoying it. So, all right. On to the things I bought, the collectibles, the games. There's a bunch of games. I'm going to start with the items first, because there's less of them than there is games, obviously. All right. So, although Hello Kitty and stuff's not really a game series, perchance, perhaps, whatever. This is my Melody dressed as a little chick. And the reason I equate it with games now is this. A My Melody headband was at GameStop. Therefore, it's part of games now. That's my logic. It doesn't have to make sense. I bought both of them. Both things were bought. So, one of the Pokemon Squishmallows, I've been wanting to get Teddiursa. I just kind of keep putting it off because the Squishmallows are a little pricey. So, whatever. I think I got it at Walmart. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. I just know that I got it because I've been wanting to get it and I had enough money to get it. And I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get this while I have the money to get it because I want it. Alright. While I was at GameStop, besides buying the headband that I obviously got, I already unboxed the guy, but this little, what did it call? Palamute. Yeah, got him. So I do have, I don't know if obviously I'm sure I showed it back whenever I was talking about Switch games that I own. I have Monster Hunter Rise, so I should get the amiibo for it. So I went ahead and started with getting the dog. I need to get the cat. I forget what they're called. Like, my mind just forgets words when it comes to stuff. Like, I will know what it is, but the moment I'm not looking at it, I'm like, I don't remember. I seriously cannot remember the name of the cat. Alright, while I was at GameStop, I also, because you can't really see it on the shelf over there because the shelf is so far away. The main thing you can see back there is that there's Miku standing on top. I have a little Anya and a little, Bond from Spy X Family. And obviously I own the Anya X Family Operation Memories on Switch. I was like, I should go ahead and get the other two main characters. So I went ahead. None of the different figures particularly appeal specifically to me with the Lloyd Forger figures, so I just kind of went with the standard one. I like his character and all. I don't know. None of the figures were like special or spectacular. I don't know how to explain it other than they were just kind of okay. So I went and got this one. This one wasn't all that bad. It was like $18, and I was like, oh, that's not bad for a figure. I absolutely love like pretty much all of your ones, so I just kind of picked one after debating about it for a while. And I was like, well, this one's available right now. I'm just going to get this one. So it's her on a stool. I thought it was cute. I love her little outfit. She has her little heel boots. She got to like, I don't know if my camera will work with me. It'll work better if I don't drop her. Anyway, she gets her like long earrings on. So leave it to me to scoot the stool and make it noise. Oops. Anyways, I got that one of I like all her outfits and stuff, so I was like, you know what? She's pretty. I love all her outfits. So I was like, I'm gonna get this particular one because I love these like little boots and the stool thing. I thought that was pretty cool. All right. On to the games. Let's start with the ones I don't have cases for. Alright, so I actually had no clue that Freedom Wars was an RPG until I forget what video I was watching on YouTube. I'm like always watching YouTube. They talked about this got a remaster. I got this for like $10, so I was not gonna buy the way more pricey remaster. I might if this game ends up being something that I really enjoy, I'll probably later on buy the remaster. And for now, it's kind of like I've not played it. I really don't know anything about it. I found out it's an RPG, and I love RPGs. I don't know if I've ever made that clear. I've probably mentioned it a time or two. So I went ahead and got that. So I recently started realizing I have like several games in certain series, but I haven't actually buckled down and bought them all. So uh, I started to kind of do so. One of the series I decided to finally kind of get the missing links in the games that I don't have. Was Assassin's Creed. So I got Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. It's not really part of the main line. It's not really necessary, I don't think, to play in the grand scheme of things. But it's one of the titles I don't have. I have access to a good amount of them because of the PlayStation Plus membership. There's a fair amount of them that are digital, especially with like the more recent releases that were like on PlayStation 4. So I was like, alright, I need to kind of get some of the older titles that I just kind of. Because I'm already on systems, I already showed them, I'm sure. The Assassin's Creed, what's it called? The Ezio trilogy, which is 2, Brotherhood and Revelations, and Assassin's Creed 3, and I have Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. So I was like, alright, I need to kind of take care of that. I also have Valhalla, and I don't know. I know I've shown some other ones I picked up here and there. Was it Mirage? Origins? Maybe both of them? I don't know. I'm not looking at the games right now or my game list. Alright, so I'm going to show. Basically, I got all the Dragon Quest games finally. Starting with getting this one, Dragon Quest 7. I know you can't really see that. I couldn't find a listing with a case that wasn't like outlandishly expensive. I got this through P&P Games. And I was kind of glad that they had this listed because I don't know what it is with these Dragon Quest games that make them so expensive and hard to find. But they is. They totally are. And it's just like, why? I mean, recently, Dragon Quest 3 had the HD2D remaster thing that I got. The Dragon Quest 1 and 2 are getting the same treatment, I think, later this year. But I already have 1 and 2. I mean, I know it's not the port that people really particularly like, but I got it, through the Nintendo eShop. So I was like, I need to pick up the ones I don't have. I already have 8 on the PlayStation 2. I already have 9 on the DS. I already had 11 on the Switch. I think I had it on the Switch. And I was like, I got this random chunk I don't have at this point. So 7 was one of the ones to get, and I was like, alright, let me go ahead and get it. So what is it? Like Fragments, the Forgotten Past, I think is what it says. Anyways, so I went ahead and got that. I absolutely loved playing Dragon Quest 1, and I remember enjoying dabbling in 8 and 9, even though I never beat either of them. It was my past lazy self that wouldn't stick to a game. But yeah, so I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get this, try to finish off the series. And I went ahead and did. I could not find 4, 5, and 6 on any system. I mainly looked for DS because I was like, that's the most recent iteration. That'd be the easiest to find. Wrong. They wanted like over $100 for just one game. And I just could not find listings of these games that was agreeable to me. So I went on Etsy because I found that somebody was making these custom cartridges. Dragon Quest Collection. Now, if they ever re-release 4, 5, and 6, I'll buy them. On current consoles, whatever. Release it on Switch too. I'll buy the thing. Better yet, just make it part of the Nintendo Online at this point. Anyways, I was like, I want those games. I want to go ahead and finish out owning the Dragon Quest series. So I got this. This also has 9 on it, but I'm going to play the actual copy of 9 I have that I bought way back when. I say way back when, but I mean, I bought it like whenever the 3DS was starting to come out. So I guess it technically was years ago. I mean, oh jeez, it's kind of crazy the passage of time. Anyways, this also has Monsters Joker 1 and 2, which I did not have. So that'll be kind of interesting. I'm gonna check them out. I mean, since they're on here, I mainly got it for 4, 5, and 6. But yeah, Monsters Joker 1 and 2, I looked into it. They're not that easy to get either, which is kind of crazy when I think about it. I'm like, why are these games so hard to find? I don't know. Alright, another series that it's not really a series, I guess it's a character. I have a lot of the games that are Sonic. I just have like a few I'm missing, because like I have Sonic packs. I have the Sonic Collection pack on the PlayStation 2, I have a Sonic Genesis pack on the PS3, which also has other Genesis games. I got the what is it, Mega Genesis Collection, whatever the Genesis Collection thing was that was on PlayStation 4 that had like a lot more games that were not on the other one. Whatever. I got multiple Genesis collections, and I got the Sonic Mega Collection thingy on the PlayStation 2. I have Sonic Heroes on the PlayStation 2. I have Sonic games on the Wii. I have Sonic on the Wii U. I was like, I have a lot of Sonic. I also have some digital Sonic games, like Sonic Generations. I might get Sonic Generations on 3DS later on, because I sometimes see it for sale for like $10, and it's actually pretty decent. My guess is it was just a bunch of them made. So there's a bunch of loose cartridges just kind of laying about. And I have different versions of this game. So this is Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. There's also Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing with Banjo-Kazooie, which I own. And I believe there's another Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing that I have a digital copy of. That's just kind of the standard whatever. And I remember playing it, and because I was excited, you could unlock Vice from Skies of Arcadia, and I love Skies of Arcadia. I still want to get the GameCube one. I'm kind of hoping that either they do a remake of that thing, or add it to the Nintendo Online service, because they're doing a GameCube service when Switch 2 comes out. And I was like, that would be cool, because that's the more whatever of Skies of Arcadia. I have the Dreamcast one. Getting it on GameCube is pricey. So I kind of haven't done it. Anyway, I remembered seeing that in the, Sonic and Sega thing. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm going to play this. I'm obviously going to play this racing game because I can play as him. And I very troublingly, because it was a struggle, because I'm not the best at those games, at least not then. I've since got better. I wasn't good at the drifting thing to get boosts. I've since figured it out, but at that time I did not know what I was doing, and it was a struggle to get enough things to unlock him, but I did it, and I was like, yes! And I enjoyed it. Anyway, I did beat it at some point. I don't remember the exact title because I don't know. There's other Sonic games over there we're going to get to. But at this point, there's only a few titles here and there that I don't have. Like, I have the Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, but I don't have the other Sonic Rider games. Because there's other editions, versions, whatever you want to call it. There's the original Sonic Riders. There's the Sonic Riders that nobody likes on the Kinect. I'll probably get that just because the fact it's only like $5. I do want to get Sonic Riders on PlayStation 2 just because I know it's slightly different from the Zero Gravity on the Wii. I don't have Shadow the Hedgehog. I consider that part of the Sonic games. I don't have the Sonic Rivals 1 and 2 that were on PSP, which those were just kind of odd titles out. It was like, what? I don't have one, literally just one of the Sonic and Mario Olympic event games. I have the rest of them, which drives me a little crazy. I'm like, I have the other ones. I mean, granted, two of them are on DS via one of those custom emulated cartridge things. It's just because I'm not paying full price for those games because it's not on the market reasonably anymore. I forget I know I got like other ones. I think I got something on the Wii. I know I have something on the Wii U. But there's one on the Wii U I don't have that's like really expensive, and I'm like, I don't know when I'll get to that one. I'm trying to remember if there's any other ones I don't have. I feel like there might be like one other one that I just never got around to getting. I can't remember. I don't feel like looking it up. Anyway, I got most of the Sonic games at this point. There's only like 5 or 6 I don't have. Alright. Retro Game Challenge 2. So the same person that made the Dragon Quest Collection thing had this game available. So as far as I could tell, I can't find any actual like English regular releases of this game. And there was a YouTuber that was playing this game, and it made me really interested in it. Shoot. Let me just drop Vita games on the floor. I mean, mind you, they're not worth that much. It's just the fact I dropped them. Alright, anyway. I can't remember who it was I was watching on YouTube because I watched so many different channels and just kind of randomly flip around between them. But they were playing that particular game. They were doing a Let's Play series because they had their game system equipped with a thing to be able to record it and stuff. And I was like, that looks really cool. And I watched a fair amount of like the beginning sections, and then they got into this part where it goes through, because it goes through different game genres, and it got into an RPG. And I mean, it was elaborate. It started out kind of like simple, but it started getting more and more elaborate. And I was like, I'm gonna stop watching this for now. And I know it's gotta be a channel I follow or subscribe to or whatever, because otherwise I wouldn't have told myself, you always can go back to this channel some other time and watch all of it after you get a hold of the game yourself. And then I kind of got sidewinded and didn't get to it. I finally now have the game, and I'm going to be able to play through it. I'm hoping for this year, but I don't know with all the games that keep coming out, which we're going to get to here soon. But yeah, I was like, ugh, I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I definitely want to get to it. And then I can go back to watching them play through it. But I want to play through it myself without, like, spoiling it for myself, basically. Alright. So I'm going to start with there was 2 particular pre-orders that I got shoot. I didn't mean to knock stuff on the floor. Oh well. Anyway, there was 2 different particular pre-orders that I got the limited edition for because I wanted the books. I specifically wanted the books because of the storylines in them. I mean, it was the same thing with Alteria Yumiya. I had gotten that particular edition because I wanted the book. So, Battlefield Waltz. Now, the only store that I could find the limited edition of this for is the Idea Factory's actual store, IFI. I could not find it through anything else, so I went ahead and ordered it through them. But it was still something I was super excited about. It's a visual novel. So I like their description of this. This is the best way that you could describe this game. This is the story of the girl and the talking cursed sword by her side. So I love that description. It really had me interested in seeing just what happens. Anyways, there is a reverse cover art that shows like all the characters instead of just 2 of them. I don't know if there's like anyone that she's canonically supposed to be with. Um, but whatever. I do plan to play through the game. I'm hoping this year, but I don't know. Anyways, because of when I pre-ordered it, or because I pre-ordered it, I don't know. I got 3 cards. Only one of them relates to the game. This is the card for the game. So here you see IFI's online store. So this is Battlefield Waltz, little chibis, and it says all's fair in love and war. No one will take down Nirvana. No idea what they're talking about. I'm sure it'll make sense whenever I play the game. The other 2 cards that they sent, I have absolutely no idea why. I know it had something to do with when I pre-ordered, or because I pre-ordered. I don't know. They're completely different games, and I have no idea. So, Moero Chronicle Hyper. I actually want to try to get this game. There is a Moero Chronicle. I thought it was just called Moero Chronicles, but it might be called Moero Chronicle Hyper. I'm not sure because it has English words in it, but it's technically a Japanese release. Whatever. But it's for like the Vita, and it's it costs a bit because you gotta get it imported. That's life. Anyways, it says Moe because of the Moero monsters, Moe problems. It's a Monster Girl world. And now, I'm not really familiar with any of the Neptunia games. I know they're kind of like fan servicey, so I've not really messed with looking at any of them. I probably would enjoy them, truth be told. I've just not messed with it because I wouldn't know which one to start with or any of that. If you're familiar with the series and know like a particular order that would be like recommended, like which game to start with, and then go from there, I would appreciate you telling me which game to start with. Because then I'll actually have something to work with. I'll have a baseline to go off of. Alright. So, there's this one. It is Neptunia Virtual Stars, VTubers in Harmony, and it says, let's boogie. I don't know, they're cute. I mean, it's the same thing with the Moero Chronicles. I know that one's very fan servicey, but I want to buy it knowing that anyways. This still looks like my kind of thing. So the book comes in this beautiful box. Gotta wait for my camera to chill itself. It kind of has like all the characters on it, which I love the way that the characters are portrayed on this on the cover of this box. It's really cool. And then the back, I love how they did the character art. It's pretty cool. And then the side of the box just tells you it's Battlefield Waltz. And then the book on the side actually tells you official art book and short stories. And the front looks kind of like a grimoire tome, I guess. And then the back, you got the sword. So it actually tells you not for resale. I grant you, nobody's reading this, and I bet it's on eBay. Anyway, when you open it up, you get this beautiful like little thing that tells you like where the stuff is in here. It starts out with the art book, and then it does the special stories. And it tells you straight at the beginning, this book contains spoilers. We recommend clearing the game before reading. I like that they tell you this. It lets me know, unlike the Ulterior Yumiya book, it lets me know right away, play the game first. I still don't know when it comes to Ulterior Yumiya if I should play the game first or read the book first. So I'm just going to have to play the game first because I don't want to get any spoilers. And I like the fact that this tells me right off the bat, there's spoilers, just don't do it. And I'm like, alright, I can follow instructions. Thank you. Alright, the other limited edition that I ordered this one through GameStop, not because I couldn't get it anywhere else, but because I had coupons I wanted to use. Oh, yeah, I can read. The 100-line Last Defense Academy. And it says limited edition. It comes in this nice box. I love this box. The box even tells you about the game. And it tells you what's in there, which I love because it helps you keep track of what all's in here. Alright. So there are several things in here. We'll put the box down so I don't drop anything. The first thing you have are these character art cards. There is a card for each character. I'm not going to show them all because I just don't want to spoil it for anybody who doesn't know who the characters are. Because some people like to go in these things blind, and I appreciate that. This is the main character. Everybody's seen this art. It's on the cover of the box. You're not losing anything there, and you're not losing anything by the first character I showed there behind them because they just look weird, and it tells you absolutely nothing. They look like they're a little bit nuts. Alrighty. Try to find a safe place to put this. Excuse me, doggy. Alright. This is what I meant by, he's like, on the front of the box. Ta-da! And you just kind of get like a brief glimpse of all the characters, including this little guy up here. He's tooting, I guess. He's kind of running away. Don't know what he's running from, but okay. And then you got your little back thing here. And it tells you, prepare to fight a brutal 100-day war. You and your classmates must battle alien invaders. Can you survive? Make extreme choices. Deploy your strategies. Engage your allies. There's more little description, but, whatever. You got the point. And then the reverse art shows the characters in red, kind of referencing the fact that, this is one of those games. You can accidentally, or on purpose, cause your people to die. Because, I don't know if you've noticed, based on some of the art, the people behind this game were also behind Danganronpa. I don't know what the deal with this side of the poster is. Like, who wants this side? I feel like this is the better side. It kind of shows them facing off against the aliens. It's really cool. Anyway, that's the main reason that I got interested in this game. I may not have actually finished any of the Danganronpa games. I have watched a full season of the anime. I think it's based off the first game. The particular anime I watched. And I was hooked. I didn't know it was a game at the time when I watched the anime, by the way. I just watched the anime and I was like, I love this. Then I found out it was a game series, and I've since got all the games. Because I got the collection that came out on Switch. So, also comes with a CD. Got like these like mirror fragments of all the different characters, and then you got like a broken mirror on the back. And then on the inside, you got like a blue fragmented mirror. I don't know what the deal is with the blue to red stuff is. I don't know if it like implies anything about any of the characters, or if it's just like a design choice. I'm sure I'll find out when I play the game, or maybe it won't tell me. Maybe it's just a secret. Anyways, got this pin that it comes with. Last Defense Academy Special Defense Unit. So, I thought that was kind of cool. And then, what's a game without its random acrylics? So, this is like the base, and then the card that goes in the very front that tells you the name of the game. And then you got like this cute, colorful art, and then the thing that's supposed to make it so you can basically see the art, basically, so that you can tear it up on the block. I don't really have a place to put it yet, so I've just been kind of leaving everything in the box, because I don't want to lose anything. Plus, I like how it stays in the box all nice and neat. There's a lithograph card. Got like this colorful version of everything. And then you have the red version. You can see the characters both in color or in red. The little dude in the corner doesn't change any. I'm not sure if that's a reference to his character or just an art choice. I don't know. Anyways, and then you got two different books. One of them's the one I wanted, and the other one's art book. So, There is an art book, and it says inside the front cover, "There's spoilers. Play the game first." So, back in the box with you. And then this one is the novel book thing I wanted. So, this is File 03, as they call it. And it also, in the first page, it tells you what character it's about. Is Haruko Shizuhara. She's one of the characters in the game. And it says this book has spoilers. Proceed with caution or complete the game first. So I'm like, alright, just play the game first. Got it. I actually like the fact it tells you that. It's something I appreciate. Not all books tell you, like I already mentioned. So the fact it tells me is something I greatly appreciate. And then close the box. And it's done. Alright, on to my stack of games. So this is another one of the Sonic games I got to kind of complete my Sonic games collection. Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal. I already have the other Sonic Boom game. And the cool thing is, it even has a little booklet in here. Not always, whenever you get these older games, do you get that. I'm trying to remember if I got this off of Video Games or PNP. I think I got it from Video Games Plus. Let's see. Alright, let's go through the Switch games. So, the American distributor for this was Amazon. So this is Lunar, the Remastered Collection. You got both Lunar games. You got Lunar Silver Star Story and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue. Games I didn't own, but they're RPGs I definitely wanted to play. Here's a reverse art. And I was like, I would really like to get this game. It came out. I saw it on Amazon before they ran out the first time. I think there's been restocks since then. I think it's possible to get a physical copy. I'm not 100% sure. One of the reasons I was actually really interested in getting this is I saw that it was made by Game Arts. That was one of the people involved. Game Arts was involved with making some of the Grandia games. And I love me some Grandia, so I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get it. Because I might not know a whole lot about the series. The two games, I call it a series. I guess there's technically there's a DS release and stuff like that. Anyway, I was like, I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that I'm interested, so I'm just going to go with it. Alright. I had pre-ordered this through Video Games Plus. It's live stream 1 and 2. These are visual novel / puzzle solving escape games, I guess is the way to put it. The live streaming of death begins. Watch out for risky scenes behind the live stream. So you gotta collect tools and escape things. So you gotta solve puzzles basically to escape. Or your character dies basically. So it's live stream Escape from Hotel Izanami. And live stream 2 Escape from Togazuka Happy Place. Clearly, this creepy looking monkey is from the Happy Place, and that made me all the more I actually want to see whatever that is. It sounds hilarious that's the scary thing, is this freaky little monkey. But at the same time, I'm sure it's absolutely kind of scary. I'm sure some of the stuff is actually terrifying. But, that's neither here nor there. Does this not actually have a rating on it? Yeah, it doesn't have a rating. It doesn't tell you if it's rated mature or... Yeah. That's hilarious. There's no rating. Okay, then. It's whatever rating it wants to be. It might be rated mature. I do not know. Alright, This is another game I got off of Amazon. This I got because it was on sale. It was like $32. Fantasia Neo Dimension. This is a Square Enix game I've been meaning to get. I like to get Square Enix games because I do love RPGs that require a little bit of thought into them sometimes. Square Enix has been good about some of their turn-based RPGs being a little challenging. This one I heard is actually really hard, but I've also heard it's not that hard, so I don't know. I just went ahead and got it, and I was like, I'll like it regardless. Alrighty. Next up, Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster. Yet again, I don't remember if I got this on PNP or Video Games Plus. It was one of them. So, they call it 1 and 2, but it's technically Baten Kaitos Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean plus Baten Kaitos Origins. Don't know why they call that 1 and 2. I guess they're sequentially the first and second games that came out. I don't know. But they're both RPGs, and they're games I've been wanting to get. I know, like, the original released Baten Kaitos games are, like, expensive and hard to find, because I think they were on GameCube. Alright. This I pre-ordered through Amazon. Him, the Smile and Bloom. No particular reason that I pre-ordered it through Amazon. I just kind of did. So this is a interesting one. Instead of like other visual novels where you're one character pursuing multiple different characters through different routes, these are each different couples. Each guy has a different girl, and they're all somehow connected via this local flower shop. Basically, that's how it's connected. They're all connected by the special local flower shop. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's a different take on visual novels. Instead of it being you trying to figure stuff out and potentially date one particular character to get a good ending, you got 4 different couples doing kind of different things and making decisions about that in order to determine what ending you get. So I was like, that's kind of cool. Alrighty. On to the next stack here. I have to keep the games like kind of stacked according to size, or they're all just kind of whoop. And I'm like, no, don't fall down. Alright, I pre-ordered this through Video Games Plus, AI Limit. So the case is not in English. I don't know if it's Japanese or Chinese. I don't really know. I do know it was published by CE Asia, and I was like, okay, whatever. I do know that the game plays in English. I don't know if these codes that came with it will work on the North American eShop. My guess is they probably will not. That's not really my concern. I forget the description for the game because it's not like I memorize these things. I just know it was an action game that looked really cool and that I liked the concept of. And I know that she's an AI and she's who you play as. So, it's probably going to be the next game I play after I finish Tales. Alright, here's another game I pre-ordered through Video Games Plus and got. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So this is a RPG that a lot of people that I follow on Twitter have been talking about. And I'm like, oh my goodness. This game sounds so cool. I am not reading a word that these people say, because I don't want spoiled at all. Luckily, so far, nobody's really been showing any spoilers. They've all just been really encouraging people. If you've not played it, you will want to play it if you like RPGs. Even if you're new to RPGs, you might like it just because of the story. And I'm like, what? And we all know I like me a good story in a game. So, I'm not sure if I'll play it right after AI Limit, but it's definitely going to be up there. My my goal basically is to try to double down on games this month. I don't know if I'll actually accomplish it, but I'm hoping before the Switch 2 comes out to finish the Tales of game and both of these games. I don't know. As I don't really know how long either of those games are or how much longer it's going to take me to finish Tales. Anyway. This was on sale. Again, I can't remember if it was PNP or Video Games Plus. But I saw it on sale, so I went ahead and got it finally. The Diofield Chronicle. It's a tactical RPG. I've been wanting to get it. I finally got it. At the same time, I also picked this game up, Immortals of Avium. It was just part of me reaching enough games to get the free shipping, but it was something that I saw. It's been a while. Back when this game came out, there was somebody that I follow on Twitter that showed some stuff up, some screenshots and talked about it briefly, and it sounded cool, and then I just kind of forgot about it. And then I saw it was on sale too and would be enough to get my shipping, so I was like, alright. On to the more of my getting Assassin's Creed games I didn't have. Assassin's Creed Rogue. Obviously, I got it through GameStop. You can tell by the big, enormous, ridiculous sticker and the fact that they don't have any cover art. But, that's life. I also got the first Assassin's Creed because I didn't know I didn't own it. I found that a little peculiar. I was like, I have the collection that has 2 Brotherhood and Revelations. Why don't I have 1? I was like, I even have 3 and 4, but I don't have 1. And I think Rogue is like the 5th installment at this. I don't know. Again, part of the getting the Sonic games. This was really cheap. I think it was like $5. Sonic the Hedgehog, or a lot of people call it Sonic 06 because it's famous for its glitchiness. I don't plan on completing it. It's one of those, I'm just gonna beat it and see the story, okay? I know it's cheesy, I know it's goofy. That's kind of the stupid stuff I enjoy anyways. I know it looks really dumb. The storyline just oozes goofiness. I like the fact it does have the game booklet still. So, I'm pretty sure that this was Video Games Plus. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It has the game booklet and everything. It's in great condition. I was like, why not? I feel like somebody probably played this game, decided it was stupid, and then got rid of it. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't care what other people think. I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to play what I want to play. And if I can get some joy out of something stupid, I'm going to get some joy out of something stupid, especially when I get it really cheap. Alright, so, from the Zero Escape series, this is the 3rd volume, Zero Time Dilemma. I picked this up first, and then I realized I have 2 on Vita, I have 3 on 4, and then I was like, how do I get a hold of 999? 9 doors, 9 persons, 9 rooms, or something like that? And I Googled it, because I was like, I cannot find this DS game for the life of me. At least not for less than, I think it was like $200 or something. And then I found out that this existed. I felt a little simple. I got this through GameStop because it got the ridiculous sticker on the back. I hit my microphone. Anyway, this is actually volumes 1 and 2. I'm probably still going to play 2 on Vita because that's just my thing. But I'm going to play 1 on here because I finally found it and I was like, I can get it. I was excited. Way too excited about that. It's, it's yet again along the lines of, like, the Danganronpa, the live stream games. It's not just visual novel. There's other stuff going on. There's escape time, room, controls, whatever. You got other stuff going on. You're not just reading stuff and choosing option A or B. You're actually having to figure it out. So, solving puzzles is the only way to escape locked rooms. And, so, yeah. But there is actual visual novel story stuff to it. And then there's the puzzle stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness, yes. I like the fact that the back of this case reiterates that guy from the logo. Gas Mask Man! Because he's the logo in the corner of each of these games. Now, don't get me wrong. If I ever see the DS game for sale and it's not, like, outlandish, I'll probably go ahead and pick it up. But right now, like, any listing I see online is well over $100. And I'm like, no. Not for one game. Not when you don't even know what the condition is. I mean, even complete inbox, I'm not sure I would pay that much for just one game. Because it's not like it comes with extra stuff. It'd be different if it was like a limited edition and it had like books and stuff. Then I can see the point in paying more. But when it's just a game by itself, I don't see the point. Alright, that was it, finally. It's not like it was a small amount. It was a lot. That was all the games I got in April. May is going to be a much quieter month because the 2 pre-orders I have for it come out in the month. I think I might have 3 pre-orders. Anyway, they're at the end of the month. Yeah, there might be 3. Yeah, there's 3 pre-orders. I had to think for a second. I forgot about forgot about the new Elden Ring game. I keep forgetting about it because I haven't finished the first Elden Ring game. Anyway, that comes out towards the end of the month, and there's 2 pre-orders, and I know one of them comes out like the end of the month, and because I pre-ordered it with the other one, chances are they're probably not going to ship them until the other one comes out, and so ain't going to arrive till June. June's going to be full, but May, not so much. That's just kind of how it is. But, I kind of like that it's a quieter month. Gives me a chance to try to catch up on some games, hopefully. Hopefully I actually sit down and play these games. That's the goal. That's the hope. That's the dream. We'll see. I don't know. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and bye.